Pardon the whole background noises once again. It's completely out of my control. So anyway, just when you think Godzilla had escaped Child Protective Services and PETA back in the 1960s, they just so happened to stumble upon him while he was literally walking down the street. And these were his words that he had to say to me. My rotten luck. Success has ran into Toho as of late, and it was happening coming into 1993. However, because of a certain studio back in the States requiring the rights the year prior, I will get to that in 4 episodes. Oh, trust me, I will. Toho thought it was time to not only bring back an old enemy again, but to end it at the 5th film in the Heisei series. Kinda, sorta, not really. Although, imagine if it was, though. How that would have gone. Yeah. Producers Tomoyuki Tanaka and Shogo Tomoyama decided to bring back Mechagodzilla to the then modern audience, with 2 others. Now, originally, this movie, like I said, was supposed to be the end, and the original ending was to have Mechagodzilla kill Godzilla and the energy will be transferred into the infant. However, the ending was scrapped and saved for 2 more movies. That is as if I can actually get past the next movie. Although we are going to take a little detour before we hit the other one. Wink, wink. I got to deal with a certain turtle who just starting to make a comeback. Nice foreshadow me. Anyway, Toho even promoted this movie as legendary composer Akira Fukube's last performance. Again, imagine if it was. And again, this wouldn't be the case. I'll touch on that in the next 3 reviews. Oh boy. No, that's not true. The next review. I'm off track. Damn it. Yeah, that was one fuck up. Anyway, the end result was Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, 93 edition. Also, I refuse to say 2, even I thought it didn't make any goddamn sense. Thanks, TriStar, you fucking idiots. Which was released on December 11th, 1993, which sold approximately 3,800,000 tickets in Japan and earning a whopping 1.87 million yen, or just an equivalent of $18 million in the US. The defunct Monster Zero praised it, instead saying that some critical flaws exist, but felt overall that of all the films of the Heisei series, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93 edition represents Toho's most technical and artistically successful effort. And adding that the action sequences in this film are impeccable, excitingly staged, logical, and quite dramatic. American Kaiju said that stumbles in the areas of both story and special effects, but concluded to be a good, solid entry in the Godzilla series, saying that the battles between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla are entertaining, and Akira Fukume's music score soars. Oh. I mean, why isn't it? The man can do no wrong. That's on a rare occasion. And finally, Japan Hero said that the story was interesting. The soundtrack is plain gorgeous, and the costume designs are just great. Concluding with, while this is not my top favorite movie of the Heisei series, it is definitely one of the best. Now, I myself haven't watched this movie in full until 2007, and I thought it was, like many others, one of my favorite movies of the era. But do I still hold these thoughts now? Well, let's find out. This is my review of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93 edition. Seriously, I'm not going to say 2. That's so fucking stupid. Also, spoilers if you haven't watched the movie. You've been warned. So the story, in my perspective, goes as follows. So, do you remember Mechagodzilla? Well, it was salvaged by an organization called G-Force, and they created Garuda at first. But it was limited and was a piece of junk. So they created a man-piloted mech called Mechagodzilla. Speaking of Garuda, its creator and pilot, Kazuma Aoki, played by Masahiro Takashima, I almost butchered that fucking name, was drafted into G-Force. And apparently he has a pteranodon fetish. Hashtag see help. And he's been put into training. And he doesn't do as well. Probably everyone's experience on the first day of school. Been there, done that. Too many times. We cut to an island called Adana Island. I hope I pronounced that right. Where a team finds an egg. Suddenly Rodan. Okay, just to touch on this for a little bit. In the sub, he is being referred to as Radon, but in the dub, he's being referred to as Radon. That's kind of weird. Suddenly Godzilla and he and Rodan fight. While that's happening, the team retrieves the egg and cheesed it in a heli. Godzilla, after defeating Rodan, follows them. Upon seeing the news, Kazuma literally bails on G-Force and heads to the lab in Kyoto where the egg is located. There he meets Azusa Gojo, played by Ryoko Sano, who then kicks him out for being a nerd. Serves him right. But he doesn't leave without taking a prehistoric plant with him from the lab. You goddamn thief. When Miki Sagusa, still played by Megumi Odaka, senses something within the plant from the egg, she decides to take it to the ESP Research Institute to have the children look at it. The result they found was music. All they had to do was just feed it into the computer and bam, you got music. But it had some backlash. The egg hatches. And out pops a baby. Godzilla. Son of a bitch. Oh, he actually looks better. Okay, those eyes tell the entire story. He literally snorted Ric Flair's cocaine. You can literally tell by looking into his eyes. Good Lord, that must have been some good cocaine. Hashtag not judging. And upon seeing her, it imprints on Azusa. So, here's the thing. When Child Protective Services, yeah, I'm not kidding, call Godzilla that the baby has hatched, he heads towards Kyoto, not without encountering Mechagodzilla on the way. And after getting his ass handed to him, Godzilla gained the upper hand somehow and proceeds into Kyoto undisturbed by himself. By himself. He never needed help in the first place. He never wanted Anguirus' help. Oh, Jesus. That's going to bring you some salt. However, unable to find the infant, Godzilla returns back into the Pacific Ocean. He's probably thinking to himself, what a waste of goddamn time. For him not being at the Mech at the time that Godzilla was making landfall, Kazuma was demoted to parking lot duty. That is what you get for deserting. Dick. Meanwhile, G-Force decides to take the infant into the facility in a custom habitat under the order of PETA, PETA, P-E-T-A, for keeping it and for studying it. And upon further studying it, they found a second brain within somewhere between his leg and his ass. Do not go to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor will literally tell you to bend over backwards and tell you to cough. Don't do that. And don't let the doctor follow your balls. And there goes that demonetization. Wait, my channel's already demonetized. I don't fucking care. I'm unrestricted. Meanwhile, back in that parking lot I mentioned, Kazuma proposed an idea for Garuda. Combine Garuda with Mechagodzilla. Gundam, anyone? Yeah. Skipping ahead here, Mickey brings the children, those children. Seriously, who thought it was a good idea to bring children to monsters? Oh my god, someone's not doing their fucking job. So anyway, Mickey decides to bring the children to the infant and sing to him. Again, there is some backlash. No, scratch that. Make that a double backlash. Back on that specific island that I refuse to name, Rodan is resurrected into Fire Rodan, and the infant goes completely apeshit. But he calms down. So G-Force decides to use the infant to draw the adult onto an island, and oh boy, PETA is not happy. Ooh, boy, were they not happy. When Mickey was told that she has to be inside of Mechagodzilla on this operation called G Crusher, seriously, what is the emphasis on the letter G lately? She has some second thoughts on the whole fighting Godzilla thing. This is what I like to call actual character development. Fucking hell, it took us long to get here. Fucking finally. PETA called G-Force and said that they and Child Protective Services will be watching them as this plan goes along. While that was going on, Azusa decides to go along for the ride inside of a container along with the infant. Well, that plan completely backfired because Rodan comes in out of nowhere and catches the container that they are in. Yikes. Should have made a backup plan. You should have made a fucking backup plan. That's like rule number 87. No, that's a common sense page. That's like rule number 82. Make a backup plan. I need to make my 100 rules again. God damn it. Anyway, PETA and Child Protective Services says G-Force will be sued unless they do something. So G-Force sends Mechagodzilla and Garuda to Rodan's location. Later that night, Rodan knocks the hell out of Garuda out of the sky, but proceeds to get his ass kicked by Mechagodzilla. Yikes. He gets some pot shots on the mech's head, but receives a gaping hole in his chest for his troubles. Suddenly Godzilla, after receiving the call from PETA and Child Protective Services that they have found the infant. So glad that he actually takes calls from PETA. Let alone PETA. The fuck was that? It was probably nothing. Anyway, I thought I heard something outside. Probably a gunshot. Anyway, now he and the mech started fighting each other. And at first, Godzilla gets the upper hand until Kazuma inside of Garuda steps in and combines with the mech, creating Super Mega Godzilla. Again, Gundam, anyone? And just like the original, Super Mechagodzilla literally fires absolutely everything and managed to get the Monster King off of his feet. So here's a dilemma. When G Crusher has started, Mickey hesitates for a moment, but she locates the brain with such regret. God damn it. And here I thought I lived with no goddamn regrets. That's pretty much my life in general. And Godzilla's second brain was destroyed, leaving him unable to walk. When Godzilla was down and getting hammered by explosions and projectiles, Jesus Christ, the mech is showing no mercy. The infant breaks free from the container and roars into the sky. Rodan hears that and tries to fly away, but is immediately shot down onto the king's dead carcass. After dying, Rodan transfers his energy into Godzilla. Now here is the cool part right here. Godzilla is reawakened and turns into the equivalent of a Super Saiyan. For those of you who do not watch DBZ, Super Saiyan is what would happen if someone has a gold aura and their hair turns gold. Oh, and their strength increases. With his newfound energy, he unleashes his brand new uranium red spiral breath. Oh yeah, I can actually tell the difference. And also the internet. To finally destroy Mechagodzilla once and for all. But don't worry, the pilots got out via an escape pod. Azusa and Kazuma leaves the infant to the adult. And after some convincing from Miki Sakusa, Godzilla was able to finally sign the adoption papers that was given to him by PETA and Child Protective Services to take the infant under his wing, naming him Godzilla Jr. Senior and Junior return to the ocean to find an island somewhere that they can call home. Let's just hope the previous landowners actually clean up the mess before they arrived. Finally, an actual good one. Why does that sound familiar? But there are some flaws with it, though. The biggest being Azusa and Junior's relationship. I wish it had more development than the time that it got. Now, if it was Mickey, however, that would be a different story. Can you imagine if Mickey was the one that was imprinted on instead of Azusa? Her hesitation would be a lot more impactful. But I do like the character growth when it comes to her, and Megumi Odaka is literally getting better with each movie, so that's a plus. Let's just hope it continues to stay like that. Son of a bitch. Now, Kazuma had some character growth as well. He was a Pteranodon geek throughout, but when the situation gets serious, he drops all of that and focuses on the task at hand. Good kid, good guy. The rest of the characters are tolerable in my eyes, but I hate how the main pilot guy has to say something in English when the other guy, Sasuke, can speak English phrases so perfectly. And that one Caucasian, just forget about him. Just forget it. He just plain sucks. Special effects wise, they are still the standard good, but you can clearly see the roughs around the edges. The stiff Rodan model is the main culprit in all of this. As for Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, both are literally too chunky for my taste. And especially Godzilla. Jesus Christ, when I said lay off that juice, I did not mean lay off all of that juice. You went from looking like a brick to looking more extra thick. Ridiculous. Oh, speaking of Mechagodzilla, I want you to take a look at the design on the poster. Not the one that is photoshopped that you see every single time online, but the one that is painted that you're seeing on screen. Again, Bob Ross, you have some competition. That thing literally looks like a death machine. But on screen, in the movie itself, I kind of expected more. However, the one thing that I did expect though is this version of Baby Godzilla, and oh my god, was I not disappointed. No longer is he the donkey screaming little turd that was Minera, because this version of him looks a lot better. And both of his theme songs are fantastic, from the soft violin to the ominous choir. Speaking of that music, Akira Ifukube just shat out gold again into the form that is this soundtrack. The updated Godzilla theme from the original and Rodan's theme, even though it was Varan's theme at first, that Rodan, you freaking thief, are fantastic. But the best track, hands down, goes to Mechagodzilla's theme that plays during the opening credits. And I wish I can play that track right now, but well, what can I say? Japan and their copyright. Get your shit together. So, overall, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93 edition is a good movie. Now, with the flaws that I mentioned a few seconds ago, the film as a whole doesn't score any higher than a solid 80 Baby Godzillas going berserk out of 100. Buy this movie on Blu-ray. For more thoughts and First Amendment opinions on movies, games, etc., stay tuned right here on the Brumakian podcast and subscribe to Brumakian Productions for more juicy content. This has been Demetrius, signing off. Oh, God help me on the next one. I may need to start drinking.